Hello everyone, and a few weeks ago I went to Fort Macon, and today I'll be showing a photo collage of what I saw. So yeah, let's get started. And this was at the top of Fort Macon, and I saw some cannons. Yeah, some nice cannons at the deck, and then took a picture of the flag they had there. And then also they had some World War II stuff. It was pretty cool. So yeah, they had the barracks, and then they had these like little mannequins. It was like World War I and World War II. But yeah, it was pretty cool, and there's a guy fixing his rifle, cleaning it or something. And then there is some artifacts that were in there. And then there was some Civil War stuff, and I think that'll be later in the video. I don't really know because I kind of just put these all together. And I'm just going through and then just narrating over it. But yeah, there's some rifles that were there from like World War II, and then like a mini diorama set that I thought was cool of like artillery. It's just some more guns and just some bottles they had found there from the time. And yeah, little guns. And then these are some uniforms from the Mexican American, the Civil War, and like prisoners and stuff like that. And these are just uniforms, and this one is the Spanish-American War. And then some World War II uniforms. And then this is what a magazine would look like with gunpowder. And that is a ball and chain for a prisoner. And this is like a plate that they would eat on, and some hat insignias. So that would be like what was on their hat. And then just some more stuff like a wallet, and then some bullets. And then here's some old Confederate money that was found. A sock. Well, it's upside down, sorry. And then some like little wash stuff, and just some old bottles and stuff that they had found there. There's a hat and a haversack, and I don't know what happened there. There's a chest that belonged to one of the governors, I think. And then there's a little wallet there, and I cannot see what that is, I'm sorry. That's an artillery shell, though, I do know that. And then, I don't know why I took a picture of that. That's what an artillery shell would look like when it broke up. And those are some tobacco pipes. And that's a picture from an artilleryman. Some artillery shells. And just some artillery stuff like swabs and stuff. And then those are cannonballs and a canister shot. And then I don't know what that is. I guess the photo got cut off. Oh, I was not taking good photos. Okay, and yeah, there's a little bullet sack and just some more artillery stuff. Oh, and these are guns. I like guns. More guns and just some sabers and knives. And there's a revolver. That was pretty cool. I really like that. More guns, a haversack, cannonballs. That's like an office. Yeah, and that's the commander. They did like a little thing of his office. It was pretty cool. And then there's some guns. These are the barracks. And these are like, this is Civil War era now, from when the Confederates were stationed there. And if you don't know where Fort Macon is, it's off the coast of North Carolina. And yeah, just some art that I saw. I thought it was cool. But yeah, I go to all these little places, and I try to make a video every time I go to one of these places. And another cool fact about Fort Macon is Robert E. Lee, the commander of the Confederate Army, before the Civil War started, he actually went to Fort Macon and like looked over it because he was an Army engineer. So he looked over and just made some little things for the fort to, make sure it was good and all that. But yeah, these are just some photos of the old barracks, and like it was really cool going down there to see all this stuff because I really like historical stuff, and it was really cool to just see all this and kind of take a trip back in time, But yeah, and it was really cool. And I like how they converted like some of the old barracks into like a museum, kind of like an exhibit. But yeah, this was like the top of Fort Macon. It was really pretty, and there was a museum inside as well too. So the North Carolina coast is really beautiful. And plus, Fort Macon being there is really nice. And also, they have a lot of forts down there, like Fort Fisher and Fort Hatteras. But those are some big cannons that I saw up there. Like, bro, look at that. that cannon could shoot a 5-mile ball out into the sea to literally crush a boat. And then this was like some Revolutionary War and 1812 era stuff from other forts near there. There's just some guns, a hat, and like the defense of Beaufort Harbor, because Beaufort Harbor was a key port in the American Revolution. And then the War of 1812 at Fort Hampton. So, and that's just some uniforms, a nice cannon, and that's Robert E. Lee. So, yeah. And then there's like a medic, that's the medic guy that was stationed there, his little hat. And they got some medicine bottles and just some old books that they found of his. And then I took that one sideways. My God. Well, thank you.